Hello everyone. My name is James Castle, President of the Brunswick Heritage Museum, and I welcome you to this video series where we are working together with the Friends of Historic Brunswick to bring you videos on Historic Brunswick. This video is about the Historic Brunswick train station, and we hope you enjoy it. So this was the westbound, or actually is the westbound Brunswick train station. The eastbound train station was directly across from us, where the MARC platform is. A little history about this building. The building was designed by well-known B&O railroad architect Francis Baldwin. During the 1880s and 1890s, Francis Baldwin designed a lot of train stations up and down the Metropolitan line. One, most notably, the B&O Railroad Station at Point of Rocks. This station was built in 1891, and oddly enough, it was actually built across from 7th Avenue near the railroad tracks. The B&O Railroad actually thought that development would happen down in that area, and then when it actually saw development happening up in the area of what is now East and West Potomac Street, the building was actually moved to its present site. The building certainly was used over its over 100 years of history, also as a ticket station, also as the Railway Express agency. The other aspect of this building is it actually fell into bad disrepair by the late 1980s. In the 1990s, the B&O Railroad transferred the property to the City of Brunswick. The City of Brunswick was able to get grant money from the Maryland Historic Trust to renovate the property, and which it did so in 1991. And since 1991, the building has been well kept and still serves as a ticket station for the MARC line.
My name is Norman Cornelius. I'm a local Brunswick guy, born and raised here in Brunswick, and of course come out of the Brunswick schooling system, Brunswick High School, in 1959. I'd like to thank Mr. Castle and the Brunswick Museum for allowing me to speak a few minutes, and also Friends of Historic Brunswick. And after high school, of course, like a lot of my friends, went in the Navy. It was 1959 and served a stint in the Navy. After coming out, I spent 4 years, then I went to work for the B&O railroad system here in Brunswick, Maryland. And things were still booming back in those days. And I went to work at WB Tower, and the switching tower, block station tower, just a little bit to the east of the station here. But running the station, you had a station master. The agent was pretty much in charge of the operation. And he no doubt probably would have had, on most days, he would have had a clerk working alongside, helping out with the operation. And naturally, the station itself, the sales of tickets, that's pretty much, as we all know, the gateway to the passenger rail service throughout the United States. So it was a very important job. The station agent also was in charge, because there was a lot of freight delivery throughout this area. And the station agent at this particular location, we have at that time there were 3 sidings for the delivery and shipment of goods out of this area. One being the mill siding, which is located close to the canal. And that siding itself really consisted of 2 different tracks. One was for boxcars of delivery and shipment of goods, farm goods and such. The other siding, which consisted of a series of concrete piers, that's where the delivery of coal, because everybody in Brunswick burned coal, so the delivery of coal and also stone hoppers, and that was elevated where the trucks could get underneath and dump. So the other sidings, we had one just on the north side of the station that ran right close to the station, and that was usually for the delivery of goods. The other siding was across the street, just on the other side of the street. That was for the J.P. Carn Lumber Company. That was for the delivery of goods. Ralph White, he was the station agent here. At this location. And also, like talking about a family affair, at WB Tower, where I was working at that time, the relief job was carried by Mr. Jim White, James White. On the midnight shift, we had Ira White, Mr. Ira White. And also interesting, at that same time, through the 60s, their father, who at the time was around 80 years old, was an operator, active operator on the towers on the Norfolk and Southern Railway. Along with the many duties the ticket agent had here at the station in Brunswick, also it was a very active location for Railway Express. And the deliveries were made through this building, and also shipments also out of this building. And that was all handled by either by the station agent or the clerk when the clerk was on duty. One interesting point here recently, we just located the old baggage cart, the one that sat at this station for a whole lot of years. And that's in the process of being redone at this time, and maybe we can get some Railway Express back on that cart again when it sits outside. The B&O station here in Brunswick, being the busy location at the Brunswick yards and the nature of the operation here, the station agent worked closely with the clerk's office, and of course the clerks, many for the shipment and receiving of goods coming in to not only Brunswick, Maryland, but extended. We delivered goods via work trains, small work trains, every week down the Metropolitan Branch towards Washington, up Hagerstown Branch to Hagerstown, Maryland, also on the Valley Branch to Winchester, Virginia. So we impacted a very large area, and with freight delivery. He also worked closely with the train masters and other offices that were located here in Brunswick. Railroading was certainly a family type affair in the Brunswick community. And it put food on the table and helped families get by weekly. This, with the advent, well, basically with new equipment, the modern day rail equipment that they have, and that was part of the reasons that some of the jobs faded. But irregardless, preserving that history and making sure that it's there for anybody who might be interested, I think is very important. We have one remaining building left, of course, the B&O station, fine, but our caboose that we have was actually, worked out of Brunswick on the Cumberland Division. We now have a chance to preserve WB Tower, and with that, of course, that was a local. I mean, nothing moved in or out of Brunswick without the operators in the tower. They controlled everything. It's very important to, like I say, to maintain that history and preserve it, and also, again, to teach it to those who are interested. I'd like to take just a minute and mention a brand new group. It's a recently formed group, Friends of Historic Brunswick, and it's mostly made up of local couples, and we expect with this group, in fact, look us up online. It would be fohbmd.org. Take a look and see how you like it, and leave us some nice comments if you can. And we expect to be working to preserve a lot of Brunswick's railroad history with what we have remaining, with the local buildings that we have, the station, the tower, and with Caboose 1926, which we're very proud of. We have been operating. We've been together approximately 2 to 3 months now, and we're forming, we're growing, and we want to try and get a lot of other people involved. And as I said, our mission and our vision is to protect and preserve Brunswick's history and we would like to not only preserve, but we want to try and teach this history also. So anyone who is interested in railroading or anything of that nature, we're here, and just start asking questions. We'll see if we can't answer them. We will certainly find you an appropriate answer. We also want to work with. We'd like to work with the local veterans coming out. Of course, we know our new veterans coming out, and especially with the jobs and so forth right now. We would like to assist them in job hunting or in any way that we can. If it's medical services that they're seeking, maybe through the local American Legion and also through our unit, we can find help, or at least give them guidance to get to whatever they need.
We hope you enjoyed this video on the historic Brunswick train station. I'd like to thank the folks at Friends of Historic Brunswick for collaborating with the Brunswick Heritage Museum on this project. Brunswick Heritage Museum is open limited hours. Please check our website at brunswickmuseum.org. And we thank you very much and hope to see you soon.